Welcome back. I'm prepared a bit bedazzled because today I'm going to be shedding light on why working most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand will never provide a person with enough money to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living. So why does this happen to be the case, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, and much to my irritation, most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand are often deemed to be dead-end, highly time-depleting, debilitating, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, ineffably agonizing jobs that not only dispossess an employee out of almost all of his sacrosanct time, but that also do not furnish him with anything close to even one-fourth of a subsistence wage for affording housing. Furthermore, most real private sector employers are keen on not offering any benefits or any pensions to the real private sector employees. Moreover, almost all the profits that the companies generate are reserved for its executives, its shareholders, and its external directors. If you work most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand, then your emolument will be capped at the minimum wage threshold in most contexts. So, to recapitulate in sum, if you're earning minimum wage by working most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand, you're just not going to be earning enough fiat currency to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living. The total cost to attain an extremely low standard of living in this controlled market economy can be unequivocally sizable. Perhaps if you work most of your private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand, you can cover some of the costs that are associated with attaining an extremely low standard of living. So what are the costs that are subsumed under the attainment of an extremely low standard of living? In order to be able to attain an extremely low standard of living, you not only need to earn enough fiat currency to be able to afford to not only pay the perpetually recurring room rental fee, but you also need to earn enough fiat currency to be able to afford to purchase a vehicle. Furthermore, in addition to being able to pay the aforementioned expenses, you need to earn enough fiat currency to be able to afford to purchase functional vehicle parts, as well as incessantly purchase food, as well as incessantly purchase fuel, as well as incessantly purchase oil, as well as incessantly pay the perpetually recurring exorbitant auto insurance premium, as well as pay the perpetually recurring driver's license renewal fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring exorbitant vehicle registration fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring tire rotation fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring internet subscription fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring smartphone subscription service fee. So, while you may be able to cover some of the aforementioned costs that are associated with having an extremely low standard of living, when you account for all the costs as an aggregate, you're simply not going to generate enough fiat currency if you work most of your private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand to be able to cover all the costs that are associated with attaining an extremely low standard of living. So I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, engrossing, informative, and amusing. I hope that you're entrenched in the unalloyed epicness. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.